Hello YouTube, this is TeamNeoKuriboh and I'm bringing you today a Infernoid deck profile. Now this has been a fun deck for me and I actually have had it for quite a bit of time before I got Omegos, and so now that I have Omegos they're really good. And so let's just get on with the deck profile. We're running of course 3 of your normal summon. This card's really nice because you can basically tutor any Infernoid in your deck and it gains that monster's effects, and it's not just for that turn, it's permanently. Plus he's a tuner, so he's really nice to make Omega. Next you're running triple Harmadic. This guy is your monster destruction. Once per turn you can destroy a monster on the field and then he can attack that turn. When Decatron sends for an Infernoid, he gains the levels, so if I send Harmadic, he will be 4. Petrella, you run 3 of because he is your spell and trap destruction, plus he's really nice if you have Decatron plus him, you have an Omega. And all Infernoids, the small ones, can banish or attribute a monster to banish a card in the opponent's graveyard during their turn. The bigger monsters can do it during either player's turn. Triple Saitama's. This guy, this is the reason the deck's good, pretty much. When he attacks a monster at the end of the battle phase, you can banish 1 card on the field he doesn't target. And he's level 7, so I'm running the 6 so you can make a 7 play, because if you make Red Eyes and your opponent has to do a lot of effects to get out of their situation, it's really nice. Next you're running 2 Atondo. This card is basically, if you run over a monster, destroy the battle, you can run and attack again. He's just there for basically a name, and I can make Hope Harbinger with him. You're running the 1/6 just so you can do the rank up play. Also, he has kind of a neat effect. If he attacks, your opponent has to banish 1 card of their choice from their extra deck. So, it's interesting, but not very useful. Since I'm running the Imagination build, I'm running 2 of the Deviati and 2 Annoyinku. Deviati, when it's summoned, is your Heavy Storm, and Annoyinku, when it's summoned, is your Dark Hole. Deviati, since it's the Heavy Storm, it negates monster effects. Annoyinku, since it's the Dark Hole, it negates spells and traps. They negate the opposite by attributing a monster. And if you didn't know, all Infernoids they can only banish by summoning if your total level of your monsters or rank is 8 or lower. Next, for the only other normal summon, because I want Reasoning to be really good, is 3 Raiden, the Hand of the Lightsworn. This guy is your level 4 tuner, which is also really good to make your synchro plays. That's it for the monster lineup. We're going to move on to the spells. I run no 3 of spells, but a lot of 2 ofs. 2 Imagination. When it's activated, all Infernoids you control levels are reduced to 1. And if your opponent controls an extra deck monster, you can send this from the field to the graveyard to send up to 6 from your graveyard to summon Tiara. Next, you're running 2 Pot of Acquisitiveness. This is basically a draw card for your banished cards. If you don't have Omega or plus Omega, it's just another draw card. Next is 2 Left Arm Offerings, which is really nice because you can, if you have 2 or more cards in your hand, banish them from your hand, and you can search your deck for a spell. Any spell. You can search Raigeki, you can search Twin Twister, you can search Instant Fusion. It's really nice for that fact that it can search anything that you need in that situation. Mostly Reasoning, though. Next, you search out 2 Charge of the Light Brigade, and this is to search your Raiden plus Mills. 2 Twin Twister. I'm going back and forth between running 2 and 3. 3 is not a hindrance because I don't mind discarding cards like Saitama's because they can come back. And I don't like back row. Next, you're running 2 Instant Fusion. This card is really nice for making a double Omega. If you have Instant Fusion, Petrella, and Raiden, you have 2 Omegas, which is really hard on your opponent. Next, you're running the 1 Monster Gate and the 1 Reasoning. Both are just really good in this deck. You're running the one Burial from the Different Dimension. It's just more graveyard back to, or banish back to graveyard effects. One Upstart because 39 card deck. Book of Eclipse because sometimes it can unstuck you with your monsters like Tierra, and it's really nice to stop your opponent's plays. But since I don't like them drawing, I run one to unstuck myself and one Swords of Concealing Light because this still puts them in face down defense, but it doesn't stick me and it doesn't let them draw. That's it for the main deck. Next we're running into the extra deck. We're running 2 Cyframe Lord Omega. Now, I feel like 3 is actually too much in this deck because 2 is just about all you need. Plus 3 is sort of hard to get out because once you have 2 out, you're sort of out of your Norden, because the only way you get 2 pretty much is if you use your instant fusion. So I feel like 2 is a good number, plus I don't have a third. Running 1 Crimson Blader, he can come up, but most of the time he's just a target for Tierra in the extra deck. Run Scarlight Red Dragon Archfiend. This card's actually really nice. Spark, there's actually a really cool thing you can do with Spark. If they've got a very big monster or something you don't want to deal with, instead of going into Omega, you can use Stardust plus Saitamus. Saitamus can just ram and then banish a card on the field. 1 Ancient Sacred Wyvern for the OTK. And that's it for your synchros. 1 Hope Harbinger. You rarely go into your rank 8 or 7, but it's there. 1 Red Eyes, because if you can deal enough damage and then summon him, your opponent almost is stuck. 1 Castell. 1 Dweller. These guys are there, but it's almost, again, never easy or viable. 1 Dante. He's also there, but he's mainly another Tierra target. And then we're running into the fusions. Tierra. Now, Tierra says up to the number of Infernoids you've used for her fusion summon, up to 8. No, it goes up to 10, actually. So, her effect for 3, 5, and 8, and 10, her 3 is send monsters from your deck to the graveyard. 3. Each player. Her 5 is each player sends 3 extra deck monsters to the graveyard. And then her 8 is each player targets 3 banished, puts it in the graveyard. Her 10 is each player discards their entire hand. And then for another fusion, you run a second Tierra, because sometimes it can come up, almost never, but Tierra just sends Tierra herself. And plus, you can use these guys to banish once you're done with them for your other Infernoids. 1 Nodin, because Nodin makes Omega. And Restrict, because it can actually come up. And that's it for the deck, guys. I would like to thank you for watching. Comment down below what you want to see next. And I'll see you guys in the next video.